Round one. I guess it's safe to say Boxing Ego was right, as Daniel Dubois, his very own promoter, Frank Warren, throws cold water on a potential Joshua versus Daniel Dubois rematch. Frank Warren, you guys see it. It says rules out Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua, a rematch. IBF heavyweight champion Daniel Dubois was expected to rematch Anthony Joshua just a few months after their first fight. But it seems though Anthony Joshua will not be ready in time. Warren has revealed further details regarding Dubois' update. So Dubois, as you guys know, he knocked out Anthony Joshua, right? And it says recent news that the latter was still suffering from injuries caused doubt as to whether the pair would meet again, right? Speaking with Box Nation, this is what Frank Warren had to say. Frank Warren has now confirmed he cannot see Joshua rematch taking place next, adding that he expects to close a deal for Dubois to fight in February, outed maybe even next week. So he might even tell you next week. This is the direct quote. He says, and I quote, "I don't see Anthony Joshua rematch happening next. So we are looking at a couple things at the moment. We will make a decision. I was hoping that we could get it done fairly quickly, but we won't be able to get it done fairly quickly. Sometime in the next week, we have to go and be in a position where we can close on something, and we're talking to a few other guys. I want him out there February 22nd, and he wants to be out on that date." He says, "I don't see Fabio Wardley fight happening next. I can't see it being next. For me, the fight could be built into something mega. There's no doubt about it." But according to Eddie Hearn, and Frank Warren also said it, Joshua is somehow injured. And this is what I predicted. I told you, I don't think it's an injury. I personally think Joshua don't want none, because you look at it. Joshua had no excuses when he lost to Usyk in doing an immediate rematch. He had no problems doing an immediate rematch with Andy Ruiz. But conveniently, when he gets knocked out bad and loses every second of the fight from Dynamite Daniel Dubois, now all of a sudden he can't be ready in a couple months. So for me, I truly believe that Joshua is avoiding it. Another indication of this is what Eddie Hearn said. And I already made a video about this, so you guys can check it on the channel. I think the telltale giveaway was when Eddie Hearn says he doesn't want to commit to Joshua Dubois part 2 until he sees Fury versus Usyk rematch, because Joshua may fight Tyson Fury if he wins straight away. And I'm like, hold on, pump your brakes, pump your brakes. If you have unfinished business and the man that stopped you is Daniel Dubois, why are you talking about Tyson Fury? So regardless if he wins or loses again to Usyk, this is the person that you need to clarify things with. The man had you looking like this on the ground. He on the ground, hit you with the Jamie Foxx club punch, right? So why are you even worried about what Tyson Fury is doing when these were the scenes of your last fight, right? So I knew this. I predicted this. Ego Stradamus strikes again. Joshua is now in really no man's land, and I think they're trying to cash him out and save whatever is left on interest-wise in a Tyson Fury fight. And even Tyson Fury beating Usyk, that's not a given. I'm picking Usyk again. Picked him the first time, I was right, and I'm picking him again. Fury looks fatter to me. He doesn't look like he's in no crazy shape. And Usyk is a talented fighter, southpaw. He looked faster than Fury. And I think Usyk now has a feel for how Tyson Fury would fight and how he does fight, being a bigger person. So I think Usyk can make more adjustments. Plus, I think the 3 Wilder fights really took a toll on Tyson Fury. You know, those were some grueling fights, and now it's all FUBAR. Old media lied to you and said that Joshua and Fury were going to fight for undisputed, to this point, that fight has never, ever happened. So to me, I don't really think it happens next, especially since Joshua's team, they acted like they were interested in the Dubois part 2, but now they're claiming injury. Round 2. Now, I preach this all the time on my channel. I've been doing this for long enough. It is very imperative that you get your boxing information from adequate sources. There is a lot of low quality content online, on YouTube, TikTok, you name it, right? Just outright lies. People who act like they're in the know, but they really don't know. And it's hurting the sport of boxing, because fans, I feel bad for some of the fans. I mean, I do and I don't. Partly because some of the fans are naive, and there's a level of naivete. So they just hear someone say it and they think it's automatically true, right? And this is becoming a problem. And then they're saying, hey, I thought these guys were fighting. I thought this and this. It's like, where'd you get that information from? So I blame the fans, because if you guys support known liars in the sport, what's going to stop them? You're an enabler. It's like if someone has a drinking problem, they're an alcoholic, and you keep running them down to the liquor store. So your best bet is to pay it no mind and give less of your viewing time and watch time to the bad actors in the sport of boxing. So that being said, a lot of bad, low quality content, bad, poor audio. Like, you see the visuals on my channel, you know, I got it so you can see, I show receipts. There's a lot of people who they'll put stuff in their title, but it's pure clickbait. Or they'll put stuff in the title and then you watch the video, they're not showing receipts. They're not giving you an indication of what you actually clicked on the video for, right? And there's all these mythical fights that are supposedly being made, and then come to find out that's not the truth. One of those fights is Jaron Boots Ennis, right? People said Jaron Boots Ennis was going to fight Vergil Ortiz in February. Notice I didn't report about that. Now we get more intel from the horse's mouth. So somebody on Twitter put, Vergil Ortiz's manager said, we are not looking at Jaron Ennis. We are looking for better fights for Vergil, like Errol Spence in Houston or Keith Thurman. What the F? So this Twitter user didn't actually quote what was said. Vergil Ortiz seen this and said, looks like you have a reading problem. Reread it again, but this time try posting what he said, not what you want for likes. So he's setting the record straight. He didn't say we don't want the Boots fight, but see that, and that's the thing. You got people who are interpreting how they want to interpret, but it's not, you got to hold people to what they actually said. So this is the manager in question, Rick Marinigan, and he works with Vergil Ortiz, and Vergil Ortiz took the liberty of highlighting it to let people know what's going on. The statement is as follows: we are not eyeing Boots Ortiz, meaning Vergil Ortiz, and anyone in the top 5 works for a big fight, and when an offer comes along, then we will take it from there. So you already, right then and there, it's a misrepresentation to just say Vergil Ortiz ducked Boots. There's not even been an offer made. You know what I mean? So it's not an issue of ducking. They said we're not eyeing Boots particularly, but anyone in the division can get it, send the paperwork, present an offer, and then we'll take it from there. These are two completely different things. You guys get me? I think Vergil Ortiz versus Errol Spence at Cowboy Stadium becomes the biggest fight in Texas history. But if someone can afford Ortiz Boots or Ortiz Crawford, then my phone number is on 24/7. All roads lead to Ortiz for a mega fight in the division. So these are drastically different things. There's so many terms like cherry pick and bum and ducking, avoiding, that are constantly and commonly overused in the sport of boxing. And it just, again, all these things water down the sport. So it says Vergil Ortiz versus Jaron Boots Ennis, and Bam Rodriguez and Chocolatito are being eyed as possible fights for February 22nd. So again, I don't understand where you guys are getting some of this information, because you're saying that Vergil Ortiz and Boots is being eyed for Riyadh season, and the manager is saying call us for a big offer, but at this point we're not eyeing Boots particularly or anyone else. We just want a big fight. So there's that. As far as Riyadh season, I got a video coming soon. You guys wanted me to make it. Riyadh season appears to be re-examining their focus and tightening up on the purse books, but I'll make a separate video about that. So again, be cautious where you get your boxing information from. Round 3, Ryan Garcia is back. It appears that Ryan Garcia is back at some kind of, it looks like a boxing event in Dubai. Now, mind you, for the fans that live under a rock, or in case you're not well informed, Ryan tested positive for Ostarine in the April 20th fight with Devin Haney. The fight was later overturned, and now it doesn't count as a loss against Devin Haney's record. Ryan has subsequently been suspended because he did not declare the supplement that he claims was tainted and contained the Ostarine on his declaration forms, right? So he's suspended till about April 2025. I guess a way around that, because you got to look at in America with the ABC commission, if one commission has you suspended, it is very likely that it's a no-go in other commissions. Like you had a fight that was supposed to take place close to Rhode Island, Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade versus Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders failed a PED test and he had a banned substance in his system. Fight got canceled. And I heard Eddie Hearn was trying to move it to a different jurisdiction, but he wasn't going to get cleared because he had just tested positive. Now, I'm not going to get into the semantics and the particulars. There have been instances where, like, you had a fight with Oscar Valdez. He tested positive for phentermine, and then they allowed the fight to continue in America. But more often than not, if you're suspended, especially a fighter as high profile as Ryan Garcia, and the whole suspension is high profile, it would be such a negative light if you're suspended in New York and then Vegas allowed you, Nevada allowed you to fight. It would just put too much heat on them. So it's likely that everyone in America would honor such a high profile fighter like Ryan Garcia and his suspension in the States. So the loophole around that is Dubai. Now, this poster doesn't state explicitly that Ryan Garcia is fighting. So there's a lot of people and they're just assuming that Ryan Garcia is fighting, but I go off the real information. Ryan, only thing he says, coming to Dubai in January, big event, right? So a lot of people are speculating that it's an exhibition, but as of me recording this video, that has not been confirmed. All it says, and I'll read it directly because there's a lot of low quality content available online. That's why I do things my way on this side, the real side. People putting out, Russian put out, quick videos, 2-minute videos and lying and clickbait and trying to, get clicks real quick by putting clickbait and fake titles, low quality, low, bad visual quality. It's just like the game is looking weird. So on my channel, we're opposite that. I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. So Ryan Garcia, I'll wait for him to come out and elaborate. All it says verbatim, Ryan Garcia featuring musical performances and a boxing event with Jaber Zayani. I don't even know who that is. That's just being real with you. I didn't do any research for this particular. I'll look him up, but I don't even know who Jaber Zayani is. That sounds like Weird Al Yankovic or a singer or something. And it says Dubai, January 2025. So again, the speculation is that this is Ryan Garcia fighting in an exhibition, but as of me recording the video, hasn't been confirmed. The rule set hasn't been confirmed, and it is what it is. This is probably, going to make the Haniacs mad, because it's kind of weird that Ryan Garcia could pop in and return to the sport of boxing before Devin Haney. I think that's kind of weird, right? But here we are. Nonetheless, here we are. It looks like, unless Devin can get something going and announce like ASAP, because it's basically election day. It's November. Devin said he was going to fight in December, but it's like, what type of fight could you put together and properly promote and have a camp to make whatever weight and build interest in the fight? And, you're talking about venues. What venue would it be at if you haven't even confirmed it at this point where it's going to be at? Because venues get booked up. It's the holidays. There might be other residencies in Vegas or concerts or basketball games or whatever the situation, where it's the holidays. So, they might bring David Copperfield. So these venues start to get booked up as they fill out their calendars. So it doesn't look like, to me, what Devin Haney said is true. It doesn't look like Devin Haney will actually fight by December. We'll see. But Ryan, if he does in fact fight January 2025, even though it's an exhibition, this would be good for him, just to make sure you're not rusty, get yourself focused so you have a camp and, be seen, I guess you could say. So it doesn't really hurt Ryan Garcia. Bottom line, is going to be very interesting to see the next move from both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia and what they elect to do next, because especially Devin, he took the punishment. Ryan, to me, didn't take a bunch of punishment. He was doing that Victorville Cali shell. So he was turning his back. He fought kind of weird. He fought negative in spots where he wasn't really opening up. He didn't really take much punishment. I think Devin landed like maybe in round 3, a very solid shot. Like it was like a leaping left hook or something. And he caught Ryan Garcia, drove Ryan Garcia back a little bit. Ryan, bit down on his gum shield, on his mouthpiece, and just hit his hands together like, okay, that woke me up. Let's go. But there was never really a point where we seen Ryan on spaghetti legs or almost out of there. So the person that has to do the rebuilding, I don't care about the overturned and the Ostarine. That don't have nothing to do with you win. I used this example before, and I believe that this is the best example that boxing has seen, because I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. It's like getting into a car accident and then your car insurance, Geico, determines it was the other driver's fault. Now, that might be good in terms of a payout. They found that the driver instigated or they were at fault, so they have to pay. But that doesn't change if you went through a bad car accident, you got mangled and crashed and T-boned and whiplash, back hurts, slipped a disc. Like, what does it have to do? What does the insurance's investigation and ruling have to do with the mere fact that you still went through a car crash and you suffered whatever you suffered from it? It's two big vehicles at high speeds, high rates of speeds colliding. You know what I mean? So there's going to be some damage associated with that. And that's what this fight reminds me of with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. It's, you could talk about the Ostarine and say, oh, Ryan cheated and it was overturned, Devin's still undefeated. That's all fine and dandy, but it doesn't stop the fact that you went through a punishing, grueling fight where we seen you on the canvas a gang of times. They said it was 3 times. Listen, it was more than 3. It was more than 3. So the lot of pressure on Devin Haney. I would say less pressure on Ryan Garcia, especially if this is an exhibition. This would be good for him, come back, get some activity, shake out. I don't even know who this guy is, so I'm not going to say it's a top level person. So if Ryan is in fact fighting, this would be a good move for him. To be honest, this is what Devin Haney should be doing. Devin Haney should be not necessarily doing an exhibition. Like Ryan is likely doing an exhibition because he's suspended. You know, likely this would probably be just a regular tune-up if he wasn't suspended, and it might not even be in Dubai, but he has to try to circumvent his expulsion and suspension. But Devin Haney is the one that should be taking like this type of lower level fight and announcing it, especially if he's saying he's ready to go and things like that. Let me know what you guys think. The Roundup.